Hello and welcome to the third in our series of webinars from Freedom. Our webinar series is all about the power of marketing, storytelling and design in building brands and creating sales in the real estate development industry. So whether you are looking to launch, relaunch or you're pre-launch, there's something in here for you because we are going to talk about how to return your spend, how to drive ROI into your marketing spend by really considering the power of storytelling and creating desire in your communications as you plan your launch and go to market plan. My name's Mimi Nicklin. I am the CEO and one of the founders of Freedm. I am based, well, all over the world, but Freedm is based in Dubai and we service clients all over the region and beyond. And today I'm going to talk about two of my biggest passions. One of them is storytelling and the other is power of creativity in sales. So let's kick off with our webinar today, aptly called Stories Over Stories. We're going to unpack how storytelling is going to change the way you sell, the speed with which you sell, and who you sell to. And on occasion, even for how much you are able to sell for. So let's start by really thinking about why this is relevant. I like to begin here because to imagine the unimaginable, which is the reality for many of you. You have a plot, you have an idea, you have a goal, you might have designs. You might already have some renders, okay? You know what's coming, but nobody else does, right? At the moment, this product is likely to be in your imagination. When you know that you can imagine that, you know that you're ahead. You have a vision for that plot. You have a vision for what it's going to do to the skyline or the area or the community surrounding it. So you know you're already ahead. But when you allow others into your story, well, then you know you've won, right? Because the minute people jump into your story with you, they're going to buy, or at least, at the very least, they're going to visit, they're going to show interest, they're going to speak to a broker. As I said, the reality for so many of you tuning in today is that what you're selling doesn't exist yet. What we do at Freedm as creatives, as storytellers, is ensure that what you are selling does exist, right? In the mind of consumers, buyers, brokers, and investors. We tap into the human mind, to creativity, to bring that to life for you. And today, I'm going to take you through how we do that. How do we define storytelling? And it is this beautiful mix of intrigue, design, and imagination. And I'm going to share a few secrets as to how we've been doing that across the region and some of the things we've learned along the way to really revolutionize real estate marketing return. So let's start at the beginning. Why do stories sell, right? Does anyone know? If you know, pop it in the chat box. Let me know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Why do stories sell? What is it about a good story that makes you want to buy something? So here's the psychology around that, okay? As human beings, we explore and discover every day our whole world through stories, okay? We're social creatures as human beings. We're called pro-social species, right? We like to engage with each other. We depend on others for survival, for happiness, for connection, and yes, for purchase decisions, right? So we live our lives through stories, and we always have, all the way back to cavemen times. We helped each other understand danger, fear, opportunity, challenge, where the food is, through cave drawings, through communications that told each other's stories. In fact, we tell stories to our friends and our family every single day. And the researcher, Jeremy Sue, found out that personal stories make up to 65% of our conversations every day. That means in your work, in your business, as you are developing, as you are selling, 65% of the time, you are doing that through stories. You just don't realize it. That's how we live. It's how we communicate as human beings. Yet so often in real estate, we are not using this superpower that we have as humans to really tell the stories of the products that we're creating, the towers, the villas, the luxury penthouses. Why are we not tapping into that more often? Here's a little bit of science to tell you why you should. Our brains become more active when we tell stories, right? So if somebody tells you a story all about delicious food, sizzling prawns on a barbecue, right? Or if someone tells you about a fast car scene, right? Fast motion, the car, the Porsche flies around the corner and it sweeps the way around a mountain range, right? When you get into that story, you imagine the prawns sizzling, or you can see that Porsche flying around a beautiful, mountainside in the south of Italy. Your brains light up, right? The sensory cortex in your brain changes, right? So stories activate the brain. Your brain literally changes when you're listening to a story, right? And what it does is it snaps us out of automatic mode. The automatic mode that is keeping you breathing and walking and living and talking and listening and all of the things that you're doing right now, okay? So the more stories you tell, the more likely you are to tap into the parts of the brain that can make decisions, right? That can choose to do things, that can fall in love with a person or a product, right? Stories activate our brain. On top of that, what do we know? As human beings, 95% of all purchase decisions are subconscious, okay? It's very hard for many developers and people in real estate to really understand this, okay? But this is from Harvard Business School, recent data. And down there, you can see the 7 parts of decision-making that influence the real estate decision-making. And look how emotional all of them are, okay? Influence the self-concept. So how does this make me feel? Who does it make me become? What is the status I get from that? The ego. How do I define myself through where I live, or the property that I buy, or the portfolio that I build? Location can be functional, need to be close to school or work, but also incredibly emotional, right? I want to be known to live in the Marina or in Emirates Hills or wherever it is, right? Social status, social standing, experiential hedonism, right? People with money and investors, they want something, they want to feel something for their money, right? So how do they feel when they buy into this? Are there certain amenities or assets at the building or the location or the project offers that change how I experience life? Quality and prestige, obviously, particularly with labeled brands and real estate decisions. Perception of risk. Will I get a return on my investment? Is it going to grow? Is this a safe purchase? And then value and return, which is where we start to see emotion and rational thinking merge. But of those 7 parts of the decision-making process, of which 95% are emotional, all of those are based on how I feel, how I want to feel, who I want to be. Now, the majority of those are subconscious. People don't know they're doing that. So often you will only see the rational brain when it clicks in, because I'll ask about payment plans or time till finishing and all those types of things. How long's the build? All of those very rational parts, okay? But that is only 5% of the decision. So if you can create marketing that makes up the other 95%, you can sell quicker for a higher price, hopefully, in a shorter timeline to a wider range of buyers, brokers, and investors. So here are my tips for doing it. This is what we've learned at Freedm over many years, all over the world, 30 plus clients, to tell you how can you leverage the power of emotion, of storytelling in your next real estate launch. So the first thing is that stories need intrigue. Right? A story can't be boring. If it's boring, nobody is listening to it, right? So stories need intrigue. So how do you do that? How do you create intrigue? I want to share a video with you to kick this off. This is an incredibly unusual, intriguing piece of film for the real estate industry. It's from America. I want to play it, and just tell me as you're watching, mention it in the comments, let me know in the chat box there. How does this make you feel? Is this intriguing? Does it spark your imagination? What do you think of this story?
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut trees, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
I'll be seeing you, I'll be seeing you.
What a beautiful piece of film, right? For one new building, it's in America. And what an amazing way to use the power of music and animation to really create intrigue, right? You want to watch that. Why are there all these wild animals in a building representing humans? And the impact between the music and the iconography and the visuals, it's incredibly intriguing. Now, you don't see many of those out there in the market. That's why I wanted to share it. Again, let me know in the chat box. Tell me what you think. Maybe you love it. Maybe you hate it. But did it intrigue you? Because in the end, that's what we're trying to do with our stories. We're trying to create intrigue. I have another example closer to home for those of you who are in Dubai. This was done by one of our favorite clients, IGO, and they used the power of imagination in their pre-launch phase of their, at the time, earlier this year, earlier in 2023, their new launch for Society House Downtown. Take a look at how they created intrigue through the power of video in a very different way. Intriguing, right? Intriguing, exciting, dramatic, right? An amazing way to give a prelude to the story. When you do that, people want to know what's going on. What's the story here? What is this new building? Why are helicopters revealing it from the sky? Okay. So when we talk about storytelling, we're talking about creating drama, building intrigue, pulling people in. They are now desperate to get to your launch. They want to know what's going on. And indeed, when IGO led this initiative back in the market a few months ago, their broker events were so full that they had people queuing at the doors because they couldn't keep up with the people in the hall, in the grand ballroom that was full of brokers that evening, right? So did they create intrigue with that? Absolutely. They piqued people's interest in the story and what was going to come next from the developer. So we've spoken about the importance of intrigue in stories. As I said earlier, who wants to listen to a story that's boring, right? So intrigue is critical, as is design. Now, not all of you will make huge videos or films. So this really pertains to marketing assets, brochures, emailers, floor plans, brochures, packs for your brokers, anything that is collateral based. But of course, all of your digital assets as well, whether that's banners, social media, paid media online, even things like WhatsApp, right? So at Freedm, we know that design drives demand, right? We also know that you're in a rush, right? That developers are always doing things in a hurry. But a key part of our timeline and the work that we do is to carve out time to really create design that impacts your audience, that creates that desire to buy and to buy now, right? Again, back to my point earlier around emotion. If you want people to connect emotionally, you need more than a stock photo from Shutterstock and a downloadable template, right? Because we're trying to create an identity for your product, for your vision, for your building. So I want to start by talking about something that's probably quite obvious, which is renders and how important they are. But how often we see bad ones, right? Because the days of just architects' renders going out in the market are gone, right? Today, we need to tell a story with our renders, right? Often you need a separate supplier. Architectural firms, probably not the best people to do this, to actually bring to life the story in your renders, right? To add in lifestyle, sometimes people, humans, babies, dogs. But even if you don't have human beings in those renders, shadows, lifestyle cues, props, moving curtains, swimming pool water that's, you know, sparkling in the sunshine, or a fireplace that's actually really sort of coming alive at night. So I want to play another video here just to bring to life an example with one of the partners we work with of really creating a story, desire, demand through the design of those renders. Take a look. So the way you create demand through those renders, as I said, it's no longer about taking architectural renders and putting them in a brochure, but creating marketing renders. For each launch, we'd recommend somewhere between 10 and 15 of those renders to really fill up your collateral, to create that story on Instagram, in your brochure, in your ebook, whatever it is that you are creating. So the first step to that design reality in any launch, pre-launch, or post-launch is to have those renders, to have them ready to really tell yours. After that, of course, as I mentioned earlier, we have collateral. This is actually work from Freedm. So this is some of our favorite work of the year. This recently won us Real Estate Marketing Agency of the Year in the Middle East for the 2nd year running. So we were super proud. This was for Mansio on the Palm, Jumeirah in Dubai. And I just wanted to share it with you here to look at the power of design. Now, Mansio, these apartments were within an existing property. We needed to significantly create an identity that cut through, that stood out as different and fresh, and demanded a premium price per square foot. And this is how we did it. You can see top right there, 62% sold out within a week. And as I said, has now been rated and ranked the best marketing in real estate in the Middle East. What you're looking at here is lifestyle, is brand identity, is the use of color, form, pattern, the use of a system, a design system to truly create a world. When you look at this, you want to step inside, right? You want to be part of the story. You want to know more. This pulls together many of the principles I'm talking about today: imagination, intrigue, design, right? Coming together to create a brand, not just some marketing. Guys, I want to be really clear, right? This is not just about marketing and selling. This is about creating a brand that allows you to impact and fast track your sales, to actually change the way people feel and buy your product, right? It's branding, it's brand storytelling. What's critical about this is that it, yes, absolutely can be in paper materials, right? In physical design materials. But I want to show you how this came to life in film, and how you take a brand system, a design system, and ensure that across all of your collaterals, this comes to life in a unique but consistent way. Take a look at their launch film.
I'm sorry, I do not remember ordering a glass of your opinion. I'm sorry, I forgot the expert in all things me. It's you. My apologies, I didn't come to you first with every single decision. I'm the worst. I'm sorry, wait, you know what I'm not. I almost forgot.
hope that made you want to dance and move to that music, because I have seen that about 1,000 times since we made it, and I still sit here and dance and I hear it, right? It is emotional, it is engaging, it is part of the brand system. You will have seen the same fonts, the same colors, the same patterns, but also importantly, the same tone, right? So branding is not just about pictures, okay? Branding is about language. It's about copywriting. It's about tone. This is not something you can, I don't know, put into ChatGPT or brief it to a junior writer, right? It's crafted in that film where it says, why on earth would you want to be anywhere else, right? Live the dream and stay where you belong. You know, it's compelling. It's branded language, right? And when you put that together, you of course get the highest ranked marketing in the Middle East. So very proud of that. On the other end of the spectrum, this is some other pieces we did for Ritz-Carlton residences in Dubai and Business Bay. Again, just to show you the power of luxury design. If you want to see a little more, you can find more on our Behance page, which I'll ask one of the team to pop in the comments below. Search for Find Freedom on Behance, and you'll see lots more luxury branding there as well. But just bringing to life the power of that design to create desire. It's tangible, it's consistent, it's luxurious. And of course, it makes you want to pick up and buy more. The very last principle for our webinar today is to reconsider buyer imagination. So I started speaking about intrigue, then I spoke about design. Now I'm talking about imagination and how you reconsider that imagination. I want to show you another film. This is actually from a real estate broker in the US. So this is not developer side marketing, but I want to show it to you because of its storytelling, because of its different angle to bringing into life imagination, to selling a property in a new way, to allowing your buyer to step into the shoes of someone else like them that might buy a property like them. So this is, as I said, a real estate broker commercial from a realty organization. But take a look at this and have a look at this different type of storytelling.
The movement of a city like New York is really inspiring, and it's constantly breathing in this way that you can't control. I'm Robert Ellis, and I write songs. The first thing I saw was the piano, and I thought I could just sit at that piano and play all night long. It sounds great in here, this huge room with really wonderful reverb. And when you play the piano, you can just hear it like fill up the whole space. There's something about the character of the walls that has its own unique sort of vibe and sound too. And it definitely inspires you to play differently, you know, or to think differently.
So there you go, right? Sotheby's. But imagine what you could do. Imagine if you took one of your future buyers of your new building, your villa, your penthouse, and you created a film from their point of view, and then you put that out in the market and you allowed other buyers to feel like them. This, in this case, was Robert's story, why he chose the apartment. And Sotheby's have created a series actually of these where they take people's stories and they're not selling a specific home, but they're selling the concept of home. They're selling lifestyle, right? So that you can step into those shoes and imagine what it would be like to live like Robert. That is what we're doing in branding. We're enabling people to imagine what it would be like to live in your new apartments or villas that you're taking to the market. So I wanted to share that with you and then summarize really by saying this, that I hope what I've shown you today is this: emotion drives decision-making, right? Wanting to be like Robert, wanting to step into those Mantua apartments because the music makes you dance, right? That very first film with the elephants in the giraffes, it's intriguing, right? You want to know more. You're going to click and say, hey, can you email me a brochure, or when's the launch, or can I come and see the show apartment, right? That is what we're trying to do. We're trying to increase the number of people that emotionally connect with the product that you have crafted and curated and you're bringing to the market, or perhaps it's in the market and you need to drive new interest or renewed interest in that building or a new phase of that building. If you try to do that on ration alone, just on price or payment plans, you will see substantially less engagement and interest. With this type of work, you can create virality, you can create word of mouth, impact, and engagement as a ripple effect. So thank you for coming. This is what we've talked about today. How do stories really sell your building? 3 key ways. They create intrigue, they drive demand, and they allow you to reconsider that buyer imagination in order to tell stories and then sell out fast. That's our goal of Freedom. That's what we're busy doing all over the region and in fact the world, and taking on more clients all the time that believe in this theory and strategy that we have proven over and over. If you can capture the imagination, if you can capture emotion, you can sell at speed. Thank you. I hope that was just under the half-an-hour mark, that we gave you something to think about this afternoon, that there's some interesting work in there that sparks your imagination and your intrigue. If you want to speak to me or hear more about our work and how we can help you, you can find us at findfreedom.com. My email is down there, mimi@findfreedom.com, or you can find us across Instagram and Behance, or you can just Google my name because I will come up, right? Find us, talk to us. At the end of this webinar, anyone who has attended the webinar is entitled to 30 minutes of complimentary strategy consultation, so we can put that in the diary. We can talk through your launch and how any of these principles that you've seen today would pertain to you and your future success. So thank you for being here. I will come back to all of your comments that are in the chat box there. I'm really happy that you've joined us for this webinar to talk about storytelling, and I wish you a wonderful day further.